Hey, future engineers and scientists, welcome. Today, I want to talk about something we hear all the time. Natural is good, and synthetic or man-made is bad. Surely you've heard someone say, that's way better. It's all natural. Or hey, this contains only natural ingredients, so it's very good for you. Or, don't eat that. It's filled with chemicals. Sounds right, but it's totally wrong. It's really not that simple. Let me explain why this is not the whole truth. I want to look at some differences between natural and synthetic materials and how they're made. We'll also cover why people say this and what you need to do about it. Let's start with something we need every single day. Water. Whether it bubbles up from a natural spring or we create it in a lab by reacting oxygen and hydrogen, guess what? It's still water. H2O. Two hydrogen atoms bound to one oxygen atom. The exact same atomic structure. Where it comes from doesn't change what it is. Some people love to say that chemicals are bad for you. Well, bad news. Everything is a chemical. A chemical just means a substance or matter, meaning something that exists. That brings us to an important point. Properties, not origin, are what truly matter. Think about it. Nature is full of incredibly toxic things. Poison ivy, deadly nightshade, even naturally occurring arsenic in some of those very natural water sources. I wouldn't drink water from some random stream out in the middle of nowhere. Would you? On the flip side, we have synthetic substances like antibiotics that have literally saved billions of lives. Now, don't get me wrong, while synthetic chemistry gives us life-saving drugs, it can also produce harmful substances. Sometimes as industrial byproducts or even on purpose, like certain pesticides or chemical weapons. The key concept is that it's the chemical structure and its interaction with our bodies or the environment that determines its effect, not whether it grew on a plant or was made in a reactor. Next, let's talk about purity. When you get something straight from nature, it's almost never pure. It's a complex mixture of all sorts of things. Plants are complicated chemical factories. They weren't designed to produce just one thing. In fact, biological systems have some of the most complex chemistries on Earth, producing not just one, but hundreds of different molecules. Often, these molecules, called secondary metabolites, evolved for the plant's own purposes. Perhaps as a defense against insects, to attract pollinators, or to fight off microbes. They weren't designed for optimal human benefit. So this leads to a complex mixture where one desired compound might be accompanied by many others with unknown or even negative effects. On the other hand, synthetic products, especially in industries like pharmaceuticals, undergo rigorous processing, controlled reactions, and purification steps. We're talking about incredibly high levels of purity, often down to parts per million. What that means is we control the process to make only one thing. And if there's more than one other molecule in there, for every million molecules of the thing we want, it won't be used and must be reprocessed. This brings us to regulation and quality control. Big chemical and pharmaceutical companies are under intense scrutiny. The government forces them to adhere to strict regulations and implement serious quality controls. For example, many industries use a system called Six Sigma. This means everything is checked so that 99.9996% of the time, only the thing the plant was designed for is produced. This means if a chemical production facility makes 1 million kilograms of a product per year, only around 4 kilograms is allowed to not be within the specification. Unfortunately, many natural products are actually unregulated. Especially things like dietary supplements or essential oils that are marketed for health. The rules can be much less strict than for pharmaceuticals or food additives. This means the quality control, purity verification, and proof that they actually work. So no one is actually checking whether that thing that someone says is in the box is really in it. That's just crazy, right? So, why do people say this? Well, the reason is really simple. Money. By convincing other people that just because something is natural, it's better, they can sell more of it. I want to call out some of the misleading marketing we see all the time. Products marketed as detox or superfoods, or boasting no added chemicals. What does any of that really mean? The human body has its own detox systems. The liver, kidneys, digestive system, lungs, and even your skin, rejecting toxins and waste products all the time to keep you healthy. Sure, some foods are better than others, but that depends on you. Are you eating a healthy, balanced diet? Getting enough exercise? If so, there's no superfood that is miraculously going to transform your life if you lie around on the couch all day. I love this one. No added chemicals. Really? What do you think is in there already? The vacuum of space? Nope. Chemicals. Another factor engineers and scientists consider is sustainability. Sometimes synthesizing a compound in a lab requires fewer resources and has a smaller environmental footprint than harvesting it from rare or slow-growing natural sources. Other times, the synthetic process itself might be energy-intensive or produce difficult waste. It's another complex trade-off where natural isn't automatically greener. Now look, I'm not saying that all synthetic products are perfect, nor that we should add random chemicals into our food. In some cases, we can make synthetic replicas or substitutes for natural products. And sometimes when we eat these, there can be side effects. Also, it's totally true that some devious companies add things to our food to let them sell more of it. But this is where we depend on doctors and scientists to check and make sure this isn't happening. That's why research and testing are so crucial. Can you tell what's in something just by looking at it? Well, even after 20 years as a chemical engineer, I sure can't. This is where scientific evidence comes in. We need to look at all the data and the research that has been done on it. My wife hates telling me about something new she's heard online or from her friends, because my first response is, show me the peer-reviewed paper. What I mean by that is, show me the research done by people who know what they're doing that has been checked and verified by more people like that. That's where the real evidence lies. So, next time you're faced with the choice between something natural and something synthetic, take a step back. Don't be automatically swayed by the label. Think about the science, consider the evidence, and trust the experts. So, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.